We have reached the hour of reckoning. It is a moment that constitutional scholars once discussed only in hypothetical terms, whispered in the back rooms of law schools and think tanks. But today, it is our reality. A federal judge has taken an action that has never occurred before in the 248-year history of the United States of America. While a federal criminal trial was still actively underway, under the watchful eye of the world, Judge Ma formally transmitted a massive cache of impeachment evidence directly to the United States Congress. This was not a leak. This was not a political maneuver. This was a formal judicial transmission that occurred less than 24 hours after a scene that felt more like a collapse than a trial. Donald Trump's entire legal team was forcibly removed from the courtroom by federal marshals. Let that sink in. Court officials confirmed shortly after that the referral explicitly cited impeachable conduct directly connected to the evidence presented in court. As we speak tonight, Washington, D.C. is effectively under a total security lockdown. National Guard units have been deployed, and the air in the Capitol is thick with the weight of a presidency that is unraveling in real time. To understand the gravity of this moment, we must look at what happened yesterday inside that courtroom. After Judge Ma expelled Trump's attorneys for committing blatant perjury, after they were physically escorted out in full view of the cameras, the judge did not simply recess the trial. He escalated. He issued a formal judicial order written in language so explosive it has left the legal community stunned. Judge Ma wrote that obstruction of justice and perjury constitute impeachable high crimes and misdemeanors, and that congressional transmission was now complete. That phrase is the key. It means the judge did not send a mere summary or a polite opinion. He sent everything. He opened the vault. The transmission included full transcripts documenting that Trump's lawyers lied 17 separate times under oath about emails they claimed did not exist. It included the smoking gun, the $40 million Saudi payment email that proved their statements were categorically false. It even included the body camera footage of the marshals removing the legal team. The judiciary has effectively handed the executioner's sword to the legislature. But the package contained something even more damaging. Among the sealed evidence were the Jack Smith recordings. In these audio files, Donald Trump is heard in his own voice instructing his associates to ignore direct court orders. It is not an interpretation, it is a command. Then came the Letitia James recording, where the sitting president is heard threatening judges and their families. Every piece of evidence was sealed, cataloged, and delivered directly to the House Judiciary Committee. We must be clear, this has never happened before. Not during the dark days of Watergate, not during the Nixon resignation, not during the Clinton impeachment, never. The guardrails haven't just been tested, they have been replaced by a judicial bulldozer. Congress was ready. House Resolution 10353 had been waiting since April 2025. It contained 7 articles of impeachment: bribery, tyranny, abuse of power, obstruction, contempt, violation of the oath, and incitement. Yesterday, it had 120 supporters. Today, it has 220. The math is now undeniable. Donald Trump will be impeached. The most stunning development of the last few hours is the total collapse of the Republican defense. Names that were once considered the president's most loyal shields are now leading the charge for his removal. Thomas Massie and Tom Tillis, Republicans who defended Trump just last week, have flipped. Massie's press conference this morning was a political earthquake. He stated plainly, "Resign or face removal. He is unfit to command." Representatives Ro Khanna and Al Green have invoked the 72-hour rule. This is a procedural mechanism that forces a floor vote within 3 days. By January 11th at the latest, the House of Representatives will vote. The 220 co-sponsors already on record mean that the outcome is no longer a matter of speculation. It is a mathematical certainty. The only question remains, how many more Republicans will jump ship to save their own political futures? They have seen the recordings. They have read the transcripts. They understand they cannot go on national television and defend perjury anymore. Trump's response has been as predictable as it is dangerous. Since the referral landed, he has been posting continuously on Truth Social, all caps rants, accusations of deep state conspiracies, and personal attacks on Judge Ma. But then came the post that set off alarms at the Department of Justice, a direct threat of civil war if he is removed. This is no longer political rhetoric. This is incitement. A sitting president threatening civil war in response to constitutional authority is the very definition of a high crime. Every post he makes is now being archived as evidence. He is unraveling. Washington is barricaded. Pro-Trump groups are shouting about stolen elections, while anti-Trump demonstrators demand immediate removal. We are in day one of a 3-day window of instability. Everything that has been building for months, the recordings, the resignations, the court rulings, has converged into this single, narrow window of time. Once the House impeaches, the process moves automatically to the Senate. This is where the true reckoning begins. A trial is mandatory. The Chief Justice will preside. House managers will present Judge Ma's evidence in full. The recordings of Trump threatening judges, the financial documents of foreign payments, it will all be public record. Conviction requires 67 votes. While that seems high, the political winds have shifted. Senators from swing states are watching the footage of lawyers being dragged out of court and imagining their own campaign ads. No one wants to be the last person defending perjury. But there is another shadow hanging over Washington, the 25th Amendment. Reports indicate quiet conversations are taking place between the Vice President and the Cabinet. The 25th Amendment allows for removal overnight if a president is deemed unable to discharge his duties. The fact that this is even being discussed reveals that the Republican Party is not just fracturing, it is collapsing. The world is watching. A U.S. president threatening civil war while facing criminal exposure is not a normal headline in London, Tokyo, or Beijing. Our allies are alarmed. Our adversaries are assessing our weakness. Domestic instability always carries global consequences. Right now, America appears unstable. Judge Ma's action has shattered the long-standing assumption that courts stay in their lane while Congress handles politics. That barrier is gone. The judiciary has stepped directly into the machinery of power and declared that this conduct is so severe that the legislative branch must act immediately. For decades, presidents relied on delay as a survival strategy, but delay is no longer an option. The referral collapsed the timeline. It forced Congress to operate on a judicial clock, not a political one. What unfolds over the next 72 hours will shape the future of the presidency and the rule of law. Beyond the mechanics of impeachment, a deeper reckoning is forming. Trump's allies are panicking because they understand that impeachment is not the end, it is the beginning of exposure. A Senate trial brings subpoenas and cross-examinations. Every layer peeled back increases the legal risk for everyone who enabled him. Cooperation is becoming rational. Silence is becoming dangerous. Trump senses this, which is why his rhetoric has turned apocalyptic. He is attempting to intimidate the institutions, but threats lose their power when they are documented. January 6th is not a memory. It is operational knowledge for the agencies now guarding the Capitol. They are determined not to repeat the mistake of ignoring incitement. Even if Trump survives the Senate numerically, he is politically crippled. Authority, once shattered, does not reassemble. Governance becomes impossible when every order is viewed through the lens of a constitutional crisis. When people ask if this is the end, the answer is it is the end of the illusion of untouchability. The countdown is real. The record is locked. The next move belongs to the Constitution, not to the man in the White House. By the time the House gavels in for the vote on January 11th, ambiguity will be gone. Members will vote on a documented record of bribery, obstruction, and incitement. There is no plausible deniability left. This is convergence. Everything is collapsing into this moment. What happens in the next 72 hours will determine if constitutional authority still carries gravity in the United States. I am Robert Hayes, your host for Yoda Noticias. Stay with us as we monitor every second of this historic rupture. The future of the Republic is on the line.